Fonts can be classified under two broad categories. One is serif and the other is sans serif. There are other classifications available, but most of the fonts can be brought under any one of these categories. Let us look about these font types in detail. First, we will see an example for serif font. This is Times New Roman font. Next, we will see an example for sans serif font. This font is Arial. The fonts are shown big enough to visibly see the differences. Are there any visible differences that you can find? Let me pause for a few seconds for you to figure out the differences. One can see that serif font contains some slight projection in the edges. I have highlighted few of these projections in thin red boxes, which helps you understand the difference between a serif font and a sans serif font. Next, we will have a deeper look into the specific character S, and we will see how it stacks up together. This is the large enough size of the character S in a Times New Roman font. This is a serif font. Next, what we have is a sans serif font. The actual font is Sego UI Lite. Let us bring these two characters close together. We can see that there are slight projections in the edges of these font. The meaning for the word serif is that there is a slight projection in the font's edges. The meaning for the word sans is without. The literal meaning of the sans word is without. So when we say sans serif, it means that fonts without slight projections. A font can also be classified as a monospaced font. These type of fonts provide equal amount of spacing for each character. Some lines are provided here. We can see that each character is occupying exactly the same space. In comparison, we will take the Times New Roman font and we will try to apply the lines here. We can see that each font does not occupy the same amount of space. So now, how do we decide what type of font to use, serif or sans serif? I'll provide few points to help arrive at that decision. First, we will take the serif font. Serif font represents elegance, confidence, and trustworthiness. These are ideal fonts for print media. Books, newspapers, magazines will predominantly contain these type of fonts. About the sans serif, this represents that these fonts are modern, approachable, and clean. These are ideal fonts for on-screen use in the mobile or tablets or desktop. These fonts look better. Now coming to the monospace font, these are fonts that are good for representing coding or a program. Most of the code editors will be using a monospaced font to represent any program. With these basics in mind, we will move on into the understanding about how to apply the font in the subsequent set of videos.